Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We have let's get that right. We're all good. And we have another video today. Today I'm taking a break from the record collection videos, and today I decided we would be doing an album ranking video today. And we have a band that I'd like to say is my favorite band of all time. I don't really have favorites. But I'd say this is the band that I've listened to the most. Of course, I'm talking about, if you've read the title, Pink Floyd. I have 13 of their 15 studio albums. I'll let you know the two that I'm missing when they come up. They're low on the list though. But yeah. So we'll do ranking. We'll start now. I also want to give a disclaimer that I've listened to all these records a lot. I have almost all of them on physical media, and the two that I don't, like, I still have listened to. There's really only one, which is going to be number 15, that I just don't listen to at all, and that, of course, is number 15, the latest Pink Floyd record from 2014, The Endless River. Just basically an ambient record, dedicated to Richard Wright, their keyboardist, who had died years before. I will say this, it is a good record for them to end their career off of and giving tribute to him. It's just, I don't ever want to listen to it again. It's boring, it goes nowhere. The final song, Louder Than Words, which is supposed to be their final song, it's just not a good song. I've just never been a big fan of it, so that's going to go at number 15. Now, number 14, we're going to go to 1987, their first record without Roger Waters, Momentary Lapse of Reason. This is the remixed, updated from 2019, but still very similar album. Nice gatefold. There are two songs on here that I really do enjoy, and that is Learning to Fly and One Slip. Both those songs I listen to a lot. The rest is just kind of meh. I think Signs of Life is a fine opener. Nice to set the mood. And then a lot of people like Sorrow, which is the final song. I've just never been a big fan. And then the whole second side is just, I just have not been able to listen to it. Yet Another Movie, I think it was done better live than on studio. Terminal Frost is one of the worst Pink Floyd songs they've done. And then even like songs like Dogs of War and On the Turning Away, which a lot of people like, I just have never been able to get into them. So that's why this record's going at number 14. Just one I don't come back to, except for, of course, the two songs I mentioned. Number 13, we're going to go to the final album of Roger Waters, and it's not even a Pink Floyd record. This is a glorified Roger Waters solo record, The Final Cut. I think if you would have asked me like a year or two ago, I would have said this is my least favorite Pink Floyd record. It has gone up for me, however. I think there is some good stuff on here, specifically the title track. That's incredible. Also, the Fletcher Memorial Home is actually a song that has grown on me. I like The Hero's Return. I think that's a good one. Post-War Dream, the opener, is also solid, and I feel like Two Sons in the Sunset has grown on me. But this record, it's very slow, it's very sad, it really goes nowhere. David Gilmour's down on this whole thing a lot. Richard Wright had already been fired by Roger Waters, so he's not on this at all. Nick Mason, he's very limited. A lot of his stuff was even replaced by session musicians. And there's just some stuff on here that I just never come back to. So overall, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate any of these records, but overall, I just don't really come back to this one a lot. So this is why it's going at number 13. Now, number 12, this was a record that it's part live, part studio record. If we're talking about the live record's incredible, but I'm only counting the studio material. That, of course, is 1969's Umaguma, or Amagama. It's pronounced both ways. One, I love that album cover. That is an incredible album cover. Back cover. The live album, which is the first side, is pretty incredible. Astronomy Dominate, Careful of That Axie Gene, Sets of Controls for the Heart of Sun, and a great version of Sauce for Greatness. I listened to that a lot. However, we have to talk about the studio side. This is the band. They were each recorded a solo piece for about, it would take up 12 minutes of the album, and it's definitely that. Richard Wright's Sisyphus is just a song that I think opens really, really good, and then just descends into something I never want to hear again. Grand Chestnut Meadows is probably my favorite song on this record. It's a nice folk song. The nature sounds do get a lot, and then, of course, there's several species of small furry animals gathering together in a cave and grooving with picked, which is a 5-minute music concrete piece of just random animal sounds. It's annoying. I never want to listen to it again. It's probably the worst song they ever did. The Narrow Way by David Gilmour is actually pretty solid, but the Grand Visor's Garden Party, which is Nick Mason's solo piece, is just kind of meh. So overall, there's a lot of weird stuff going on this record. Some of it works, some of it does not work. So kind of, I come back to like individual songs like Grantchester Meadows and like The Narrow Way, but I just don't listen to this record in full, along with the live disc. So not a bad record by any means. I think it has gotten a better reputation, but compared to the stuff that we have coming on, it's definitely lower in the echelon. Come on, number 11, we have the final record Pink Floyd put out under that like late 80s, early 90s trio of Nick Mason, Richard Wright, and Roger Waters the second. I mean, not Roger Waters, David Gilmour. Roger Waters hated this record because there's a whole story. Roger Waters tried to sue the band because they carried on without him. It's pretty crazy. But at number 11, I have the Division Bell. Division Bell. This is the one where David Gilmour's wife, Polly Sampson, got involved with the lyrics on this record, and that really this is really a divisive record. I think it's a solid record. There's some songs on here that are incredible. Pulls Apart is great. Wearing the Inside Out is the final song Richard Wright ever wrote for Pink Floyd, and that's pretty great. Keep Talking is incredible, and then of course High Hopes. My only problem is that it does sound a bit dated, and I should have mentioned Momentary Lapse of Reason definitely sounds dated, but there are some enjoyable songs on that, but also just a whole lot of filler. This record has more and more enjoyable songs. Like, I can come back to a lot of this stuff, Take It Back. Even my least favorite song on this record is probably Marooned, which is the only Pink Floyd song that ever won a Grammy, so that's a little interesting. But yeah, I'd probably just keep it on CD. I don't need to get a vinyl of it, but overall, it's a good record. Not incredible by any means, but a solid record. Number 10, I do not have this record on vinyl. I really want to, because we're getting to the part where every record after Division Bell, which is a solid record, I really like every record coming up. So at number 10, I have Obscured by Clouds. And Obscured by Clouds is the soundtrack to the 1972 film La Vallée. Lots of great stuff on this soundtrack. The Gold is in the ... and What's the Deal? Two incredible songs. Childhood's End is a great song by David Gilmour. Stay is a really nice one by Richard Wright. Burning Bridges is a beautiful song with Gilmour and Richard Wright sharing vocals. The opening two instrumentals of Obscured by Clouds and When You're In, those are pretty great songs. The only song I really don't like is Free For, which is the only single from the record. I believe it was just a single in the States. But also absolutely curtains the instrumental weird like 6-minute closer. That song I never want to hear again. So that kind of leaves the album in a disappointing end. But overall, I think it's a great record. I really want to get that one on vinyl. Now I do have physical media for the next 9 records, and now we're gonna go to one that has gained a positive reputation of recently. Of course, we're talking about 1969's soundtrack for the film More. This is another soundtrack for just a weird movie. The film More is a weird movie. There's some great stuff on here. Half of it is actual songs, and the other half is just weird film music. And there's I'm just gonna say this, some bad stuff. There is a Spanish piece is terrible. Dramatic theme and party sequence go nowhere. Up the Khyber's like this weird piece of avant-garde jazz that it's really weird, but the songs are pretty good. Cirrus Minor and Crying Songs are these atmospheric songs. Green is the Color and Simple Line are the two best known songs. It's the only songs I think the band is proud of. I especially love Simple Line. That might be my favorite on the record. Ibiza Bar is probably my favorite though. That's such a good rocker. And the Nile song, oh man, that's a good one. Overall, I think it's a solid record. I come back to a lot of the songs. The film music, not so much. There's still some good stuff like Main Theme that I come back to, and even More Blues. But overall, it's not one that I listen to as a whole. I come back to specific songs, but the songs are really, really good. So More's coming in at number 9. Now, at number 8, we have what drummer Nick Mason said was his favorite record. It's the only record that featured all 5 Pink Floyd members, including Syd Barrett, who we'll get to his stuff soon. We have A Saucer Full of Secrets in 1968. This is a hit or miss record for me. I think the first 3 songs are incredible. Let There Be More Light, Remember a Day, which is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs of all time. Richard Wright, beautiful song. And then, of course, Roger Waters Set the Control for the Heart of the Sun. The next couple songs are a bit weak. I especially Corporal Clegg, which is Oh boy, that's a rough one. And Seesaw by Richard Wright, which is really boring. The title track's this 12-minute song that just sounds weird on a studio recording. I definitely think it's better when they did it live, both at Live at Pompeii and on Umaguma. But Jug Band Blues, which is Sid Barrett's final song that he did with the band, it's such an emotional song and just such a powerful, like, sad song because it's about his, mental state and how it was deteriorating. So a great record. Do I come back to it as much as as the rest of the records? No, but the stuff on here that hits, it's some of their best. So that's coming in at number 8. Number 7, I have this one on CD, and it took me a while to get into this record, but I think it's definitely very much grown on me. This is, of course, Adam Hart Mother from 1970. The title track is this 23-minute epic, lots of orchestration with some horns. There's a choir in there. It's a wild song. Do I come back to it as much as their other longer pieces? No, but it's still a good one. I especially love the second side. If Summer 68 and Fat Old Son, especially Summer 68 by Richard Wright. That's a very, very beautiful song by him. And then the final song, Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast, is a song I never want to hear again. It's a weird, 13-minute track, which is like a music concrete piece of like breakfast sounds and like the band like just randomly doing some instrumentals. Very weird. It's very weird, and I don't know why it's on the record. They had enough time where they actually could have ended the record at Fat Old Son. So overall, pretty solid record. Don't come to it as much as the upcoming ones, but when I do, it never disappoints. So that's going at number 7. Now, number 6, we have The Wall. This is from the Shine On box, so that's why it's small. The Wall. This is a weird record. When I first heard The Wall, I was blown away by it, and then it kind of just lost the spark for me, but now it's kind of coming back, and so I have it at number 6. Incredible Concept by Roger Waters. It's just, there are parts of the record that really just bore me out. Side 3 especially, the songs in between Hey You and Comfortably Numb are just not that good. And I think it's a record that, it's definitely an acquired taste. I think the story is incredible. One of the first rock operas, along with but yeah, one of the first, rock operas, and probably Pink Floyd's defining piece of work, along with one other record that we'll get to. I think their most commercial sounding record. I mean, of course, you had another Brick in the Wall Part 2, which hit number 1, but also some other songs like A Young Lost, Run Like Hell, Comfortably Numb, maybe even Hey You, that definitely worked more for rock radio. And so you missed a lot of that progressive rock sound that was on the last couple of records. Not as many longer songs. This is their longest record. I think it's still a good record. I still highly recommend you check it out. I love this record very much. So that's why it's coming in at number 6. Just one that I don't come back to all the time because of its length. But still one that when I come back to, I kind of have to listen all the way through because it's an incredible story. And it has maybe my favorite Pink Floyd song of all time, Comfortably Numb, which I know that's a basic pick, but it's just incredible. And it has, in my opinion, the greatest guitar solo in history. Now, at number 5, this is weird because I technically have this record, but I also technically don't. I have it. It's a part of a compilation, which you'll see in my record collection video for the next part, because I believe the next part I get to show all my Pink Floyd. So this is Piper at the Gates of Dawn. This is part of the Nice Pair compilation, which came out right after Dark Side of the Moon, and it was a way to basically repackage their first 2 output records, this along with Saucer Full of Secrets. This is a weird record. It's very much definitely known as the only record with Sid Barrett on it for most of it. I know he's on a couple of tracks on Saucer Full of Secrets, but this is a wild record. Astronomy Domine is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs of all time. Lucifer Sam, Matilda Mother, Flaming, those are some great psychedelic pop songs. The Scarecrow, Chapter 24. Interstellar Overdrive is a song that I think is better live, but it's also good on here. And Bike's a real weird closer, but it's still a fun song. A lot of fun, whimsical lyrics on this one. It sounds nothing like the Pink Floyd that, like, the next 4 records, it's gonna sound nothing like it, but it's such a it's such a random record in their discography that I just had to put it on here. So that's why Piper the Gates of Dawn is coming in at number 5. So now we're going to the top 4. We're gonna go to number 4, Metal from 1971. This is really the beginning of their classic era. Of course, the song Echoes, which is an incredible song. I highly recommend you check it out. Gatefold. One of These Days is great. Fearless, that's such a good one. San Tropez is a nice, like, breezy song. Even Seamus, which is like this comedy, like 2-minute, like country-ish folk song, which it's very much them just having fun. They have like a dog barking. It's very, like, it's often known as like one of their worst songs, but I like it. So that's why this record's coming in at number 4. It's just a classic all the way around. I listen to this record in full a ton. Now, the top 3, these ones I've always said at one point are my favorite Pink Floyd records, so it's been very tough. Maybe next year we'll redo this list, and maybe one of these records will be at the top. But coming in at number 3 is their best-selling record, one of the best-selling records of all time, and arguably the work that they're best known for. This is Dark Side of the Moon. I love this record. I love every piece. I love every single second of this record. There's just one problem. I've listened to this record too much. And this used to be my favorite Pink Floyd record like 2 years ago. I think it's now changed to the records I'm about to show you now. I still think this record's incredible. You should still 100% check it out. But yeah, this is A Dark Side of the Moon. Time, that's one of the most incredible pieces of music ever recorded. Us and Them. The whole second side, not just the whole second side, because the whole second side is like one that, like, even if like I'll just hear Money, I'll have to check out the whole second side, but the whole record you really have to listen to in full. But the second side is one of the greatest sides in the history of music. But and of course Brain Damage, that's my opinion some of Roger Waters' best lyrics. And of course Ends It With Eclipse, back cover. So yeah, I'm gonna put this record at number 3. Great record. You have to check these 3 are records that you have to be you are obligated right now to check these records out if you've never heard it, because these are incredible records. So this is going at number 3. Number 2, this is a record that took me a while to get into. And when it finally clicked with me, I knew this is one of my favorite records of all time. It's just not my favorite Pink Floyd record. There's one coming up that is my favorite record of all time. Let's go at number 2, Animals from 1977. This record has best known for, it has 3 very long pieces. So it kind of did drive some people a little weird because there wasn't that accessible, like, because like Dark Side of the Moon had Money, Wish You Were Here had Wish You Were Here, The Wall had Another Brick in the Wall, Metal had Fearless. There was nothing on here. I guess Pigs on the Wing, but those are like 2, but the 2 parts of Pigs on the Wing, which is like these 1-minute folk songs and they're love songs that Roger Waters wrote for his wife that bookend the record. Those weren't radio hits, but what's on here is incredible. Dogs, that's an incredible record. Pigs is probably my favorite song on the entire record. And Sheep, that guitar that ends the song, that riff, I'm not even gonna try and hum it. That's incredible riff by David Gilmour. Also, that album cover. The lyrics on this record are probably Roger Waters' best. And the instrument, and this is the last time the group got together and worked on a record in full. Richard Wright's not credited on anything on here, but his keyboard playing is incredible, especially that open Fender Rhodes on Sheep, and also the synthesizers on Pigs, along with his work on Dogs. The band's this is the last time the band truly got together and made a classic record, so that's coming in at 77. It was released in 77, this is coming in at number 2. I'm recording this very early in the morning, so lots of stuff. I'm messing up, so apologies. I'm not doing a second take. So coming in at number 1, by process of elimination, you guys probably already guessed this. Wish You Were Here. Wish You Were Here is not just my favorite Pink Floyd record, even though it's probably going to change. It's not just my favorite progressive rock album. It's not just my favorite record of the 70s. It's not just my favorite rock album of the 70s. It's my favorite album probably of all time. And there are many records that share that title. I've said Yankee Hotel Foxtrot's my favorite record of all time. Lonesome Crowder West by Modest Mouse is probably my favorite record of all time. Kid A by Radiohead's probably my favorite record of all time. Nebraska, Bruce Springsteen. Those are records I've all shared the title of my favorite record, but this is probably the record. Let's first start off with the obvious. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, the 9-part suite that bookends the record. Incredible. Roger Waters' best written song. The band is incredibly in tune. Those opening keyboards by, actually, no apologies. Those are wine glasses that they're playing. It's not keyboards, but when Richard Wright gets on the keyboards, it's so good. That saxophone part, it's incredible. And then the ending with Richard Wright on the keyboards, where he plays the melody to See Emily Play. Incredible stuff. The other songs are really incredible. Welcome to the Machines, this beautiful portrayal of like the music industry and its evils. Have a Cigar, man, that's a good one. Roy Harper, who sings lead, though he was never a member of Pink Floyd, but he sings lead because the other guys just couldn't get it. And then the title track is probably one of Pink Floyd's most iconic songs. So this is coming in at number 1. I love this record. I listen to this record all the time. I'll probably put it on the turntable right after this because this is an incredible record. This is Pink Floyd's crowning achievement, in my opinion, and one that I think everyone should listen to. So that was the ranking of Pink Floyd. That was definitely a lot. I love a lot of these records. Even the records that I put low are still records that I still like. Like I said, they're probably my favorite band of all time. I know I flubbed so much stuff in this video because I just like talked over myself. My bad. It's just because there's so much stuff I wanted to say about these records, but I had to keep it short because I do not have that much space to keep this video like longer than it should be. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love to everyone. God bless.